Hello, hello. Welcome back to Coffee and Headlines, our morning get together live here on Facebook, where we take a look at headlines and we take a look at stories or we make some up. No, actually, we don't make up stories. We share stories that are important to me, that are important to you, about how to best connect with our community, our English speaking community here in Puerto Vallarta, living full time. Some of you are here for the season, some of you are watching from other countries, and we appreciate you just as much. Today is Monday, the 13th of March. Things are getting warmer in town. Things are getting springy. And I have a few bits of news to share with you. I hope everybody is doing well this morning. We have some things to share. But of course, first, we welcome those of you that are watching live for the first time. If this is your case, all you have to do is write the word new in a comment to get a nice little welcome. If there's something really important in your mind, just add a capital letter Q, and we'll get right to it during our conversation chit chat section. So let's just dive into the news and see what we've got. Well, we've been talking a lot about the new highway tolls and how the price of the tolls will impact some drivers. And now we learned that representatives of the CTM, or Confederación de Trabajadores de México, or Confederation of Mexican Workers, has announced that given the price of the tolls on highway stretches that have been recently opened to vehicular traffic, some transportation companies, including bus companies, may simply not even use them as it is not profitable. In fact, they see the increase in tolls as a natural filter that will give travelers different options to come to Puerto Vallarta or travel away from Puerto Vallarta according to their budget and particular needs. Now, freight transportation companies aside, it is unclear as to which bus companies will or will not use the new toll roads, if any. And regardless, many see the upcoming Semana Santa period as an interesting experiment, particularly around the La Cruz, the Guanacaxtle intersection, where all incoming traffic from the new toll road, along with the traffic coming from the road that we're used to, will all funnel together. It'll be interesting to see how traffic plays out in that part of the bay. And of course, with some hotels already reporting a full house during Semana Santa, Jalisco's Secretary of Tourism is expecting a 95% hotel occupancy during the upcoming vacation period, which will begin on the first week of April, probably not until Wednesday or Thursday of that week. So we still have about 2.5 weeks to stock up on food and things, and to make sure that our subscription to our favorite streaming services are up to date. So those of us that live here can not hide, but stay home and make room for visitors coming to the region to enjoy it for a few precious vacation days. Now it is a good thing that violence in Mexico is mostly targeted, as apparently Mexico's Citizen Council for Public Security and Criminal Justice announced that last year, 9 out of the 10 most violent cities in the world are in Mexico, based on the number of homicides per 100,000 inhabitants. I'm not sure about these numbers, but that's what they say. Colima, according to this report, is the most violent city, followed by Zamora in Michoacán and Ciudad Obregón in Sonora. The only non-Mexican city on the list is the city of New Orleans. And I suppose it is comforting to know that no cities in Jalisco appeared on the list. But again, I don't know where this list came from. I'm not entirely sure if it contemplates the rest of the world, but that's what the news had to offer this morning. And that's what I chose to share with you. So let's move on to the weather forecast just to see what's going on out there. Let's see what kind of weather we can expect as we begin this new week. George of the Jungle and Short Round both won Oscars. Maybe this timeline isn't so bad after all. We will have a more commentary on the Oscars in a second. But for now, it is 26 degrees, feels like 27. Humidity is at 40%. Our temperature in Fahrenheit degrees is 80 degrees Fahrenheit. Our weather forecast for today says clear through the day with a high of 29 and a low of 19. Tomorrow, Tuesday, a high of 29 and a low of 19 as well with a clear day. And Wednesday, another clear day with a high of 31 and a low of 19. Let me get myself back on the screen as I see what is next. Yes, Everything Everywhere at Once is next, as the movie won the Academy Award for Best Film. The Best Animated Movie, as you can imagine, went to Guadalajara's Guillermo del Toro, whose movie Pinocchio is winning all kinds of awards. And I can't help but to be tickled over the fact that neither one of these two films has been programmed in the city of Puerto Vallarta. We don't know exactly why, but we know that movie chains have a certain habit of not programming films that they think will be unsuccessful at the box office. And we know that Guillermo del Toro had some issues with Mexico's movie chains because they refused to program Pinocchio on the big screens, apparently because it was not a film for children. Pinocchio went directly to Netflix. So I am wondering two things. Number one, if after all these awards, Mexico's theater chains will finally screen Pinocchio, and they will undoubtedly call it Pinocchio, because that's the name of the movie. But then the case of Everything Everywhere All at Once. Now, everybody knows the name of the film in Spanish, as it has been translated literally. Todo en todas partes al mismo tiempo is what it's being called in Spanish. But one wonders, given the habit that Mexican movie theater promoters have of changing the titles into Spanish, into something more catchy, it'll be very interesting to see what they choose to call the film, if indeed they choose to program it. I myself enjoyed the broadcast of the Oscars quite a bit, although I must say I was quite mortified by this lady. Apparently she's a singer. I'm not familiar with her, but she captivated on the carpet, which is not red this year, with this dress that had a huge chingadera gown over her head. And then I saw her sitting down at the theater, shamelessly blocking the view of someone that was sitting behind her. So I think whoever designed that was not very considerate to other audiences. So if you watched the Academy Awards, let me know what you thought. If you ended up going to What a Drag last night, which I heard was very well attended, let me know what you thought. If you ended up doing absolutely something different, let us know what you did in your comments. Now, speaking of something different, Luis Miguel, your favorite Mexican crooner, is now in deep doo-doo and wanted by the law as he owes more than 4 million pesos in child support. The singer has 2 children with his ex-partner. I don't even know if they were married or not. I suppose they were, otherwise he wouldn't be having to pay any alimony. Her name is Araceli Arambula. He had 2 children with her, 13-year-old Miguel and 15-year-old Daniel. So he may be a great singer to some, but as a human being, perhaps not so much. The news that he doesn't pay child support is not new. It's been known for a while, but the fact that he is now wanted by law may change your perspective on him again as a human being. Moving right along, the town of San Jose del Valle in Bahía de Banderas, Nayarit, kicked off their patron saint fiestas this past Sunday with amusement parks, expos of animals and such, and food and merchandise stands on its main plaza. This is the most important patron saint celebration in the region, and it will continue through this coming weekend, wrapping things up with a big fiesta on Sunday. And speaking of big fiestas, Cuates y Cohetes kicks off their Spring Jazz Festival tomorrow, and it will continue until the 22nd of March, the so-called most anticipated event of the year, according to their post. Featured the times for the daily performances, featured an announcement of a Grand Beach concert on March 21st. It even featured the location of the restaurant, but not a single word on who's playing and when. But it is the most anticipated event of the year, or so they say, and it starts tomorrow. And in case you're wondering, yes, I am being snarky. It continues to be a shame that these event organizers don't provide information on a timely basis, but who am I to say? Let's take a look at your comments just to see what you're thinking of today. Turi-tuti-tuti. Good morning to everyone. It's great to see you today. Let's see. Albert says he even took a steam shower this morning to remind me of PV weather. I love it. Well, you know what, Albert? I discovered shower bombs this morning on YouTube. And I suppose shower bombs is something that is fizzy, and you drop it on your shower floor, and it makes your shower smell good. Or maybe, I have no idea what a shower bomb is, but I bookmarked one so that I can learn how to make them if they're easy to make. Not that anybody cares what I do in my shower, but that's okay. Let's see. New to Facebook Live. Hello, Debbie. We've been watching on YouTube. We enjoy your show. Thank you so very much, Debbie. Feel free to watch live. The big advantage is that you can ask questions, get comments. Although comments are available in the YouTube broadcasts as well. Interestingly enough, not a lot of people comment on YouTube. For that matter, I don't think we've seen a single comment ever since we defaulted to people commenting on YouTube. I suppose comments are more of a thing for people watching live. But of course, here at Coffee and Headlines, the live experience continues to only be on Facebook, largely, in case you're wondering, a matter of bandwidth. Unfortunately, we don't have enough bandwidth to broadcast to 2 places at the same time, but I'm hoping that when we upgrade to Telmex fiber optic, we will be able to do something like that. Let's see what else we have. Ooh. Oh no! Christy has baby kittens! Oh, how beautiful. We want to see photographs, Christy. Congratulations on your new mother experience. I hope they find homes. Let's see. Interesting. Rod from Bucerias tells us my wife just took Vallarta Plus to Guadalajara, and the bus took the new portion of the toll road, and they have increased their fare to cover the new higher toll fees. Interesting. Well, thanks for the heads up. I will be looking at how prices for the buses have increased or will increase in the coming weeks. Paul makes a comment on that list of violent cities. Um, I totally hear you, Paul. I even thought about cities in other countries. I mean, why is this post only limited or apparently limited to cities in Mexico and the United States? I did a quick search of what this council was before the news started, and apparently there are other reports talking about South American cities as well. So I don't know about that headline. I would take it with a grain of salt. And again, as I mentioned during my commentary on the headline, whatever the violence may or may not be in Mexico in general, it is a good thing that most violent acts of that nature are targeted here in Mexico. Harold says, my 1-year annual Coffee and Headline subscription was automatically renewed yesterday. Yay, one less thing to think about doing, and one more thank you for me to offer. Thank you, Harold, and thank you to everyone for continuing to support Coffee and Headlines. Brian comments on watching Everything Everywhere. I haven't watched it. I know that I could probably download it and find it online. I've been waiting for the large screen experience, whether it'll come to Puerto Vallarta or not. Somehow these huge movies, I want to see them on a big screen. And Karen, great minds think alike. Karen says, my thought exactly when I saw her in the audience, and we're talking about the lady with the huge white gown. That was really interesting. Let's see. Chris comments on the highway to Mismaloya and beyond has been nicely paved and lines and crosswalks painted on. Nice to see. That is good to know. Let's see. Paul says, Paco, I have my relocation tour for Versailles PB scheduled. I'm just going to visit each of your Taco Tuesday locations. Should get me a good look and definitely some yummy meals. Thanks for sharing. Well, thank you for letting us know, Paul. I'm sure you will enjoy this part of town. And of course, for everyone in general, I am in the process of updating a lot of the records on Taco Tuesday and some of the records on Versailles for Foodies, as some restaurants have opened and others have closed. But the taco places, for the most part, are still there, and there are a couple of new ones as well. Let's see. Thank you for that comment, Harold. Much appreciated. The Expo Ganadero, or the Cattle Expo, the Farm Expo in San Jose, is a really fun event. We miss the Little People Rodeo. I don't know what that is, if it's a rodeo featuring children or if it's actually people that are little people. But again, I understand that this is the patron saint fiesta to attend here in Bahía de Banderas, and it's happening all this week. Let's see. Gwen and I are looking forward to meeting you for a fabulous meal. Are we eating? Or just to say hello? Well, we have a meet and greet coming up. This is coming up in about a month. And what else do we have? Do I have any other announcements? Well, you know the latest announcements. I don't think I should burden you with announcements today, but I will mention that we did schedule a meet and greet for later on in April. In case you missed that, let me put it up on the screen very quickly. And here it is. We're going to meet on April 19. It's a Wednesday from 6 to 8. At Whiskey Kitchen as usual. Going back to Chit Chat, let me take a quick look at all the final. Oh my goodness. So it is a rodeo of midgets and dwarf animals. Is it okay to call people, small people, short people, midgets? I don't even know anymore. But Harold called it for what it is, and we don't know if when this event is going to take place or if it's going to take place. But again, for those of you that constantly or sometimes ask, what's going on with event organizers not being generous of information, well, unfortunately, that's the way it tends to happen here. But we'll keep our eyes open to what is announced this week on the Cuates y Cuetes Jazz Festival, and also on this patron saint fiesta, in case they come up with interesting stuff. And this, my friends, brings us to the end of today's broadcast. Thank you for that, Mark. I understand now that little people prefer little people. We'll keep that in mind moving forward. And of course, as always, I wish you an amazing week. I hope you're going to do all kinds of fun things and enjoy the weather as much as I am. And I hope to see you again sometime soon. Thank you for joining us this morning, and hopefully I'll see you tomorrow.